protection.
It's a little on the nose, don't you think?
If you ever want to know why I block ads with Pi, this is why I block ads with Pi.
I just found what may be the biggest YouTube hack of 2024. It's called Pi, and it actually made me start watching YouTube again because
So to monetize a YouTube channel, you need 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty easy to understand, right? But then it gets a little more complicated because you've got two options. You could try and get 10 million YouTube Shorts views in 90 days, which in my opinion sounds very difficult. That's recent estimates suggest that over 500 hours of content is uploaded of competition from other creators, but viewers have a hell. Now just imagine for a second if you were able to grab those 500 hours of watch time every minute. You'd be monetized in 8 minutes, which is pretty cool, right? But to do that, your content would have to appeal to every single human being on YouTube. And to be honest, that ain't happening. Every minute. You'd be monetized, have a hell of a lot of choice. Now just imagine for a second if you were able to grab those 500 hours of watch time every minute. You'd be monetized in 8 minutes, which is pretty cool, right? But to do that, your content would have to appeal to every single human being on YouTube. And to be honest, that ain't happening. 500 hours of watch time every minute. You'd be monetized in 8 minutes, which is pretty cool, right? But to do that, and to go and get laser focused YouTube, your niche, and ultimately when it comes to vidIQ, you get the idea, right? In all cases, these creators are giving their audience mostly more of what they like and with a little bit of experimentation on top. That's why it can be useful to have one of these, by the way, a value proposition. Answer this and write it down for future reference. What should every single video on your channel do for your target audience? And that's what you should do every time you start a new video. Look at that value proposition and ask yourself, will this video deliver this message to whoever watches it? Let me paint you an example. You're a super busy person and you came across a fantastic video about quick and healthy recipes, and you really enjoy what that creator did. But then, the very next video the viewer sees from that creator is a 25 ingredients recipe extravaganza that takes 3.5 hours to make. Even that shift within the same video topic, cooking, could alienate that viewer because it's no longer strictly for them. Here's something to try next time you're on YouTube. Go to a creator's homepage and look at their channel banner and videos for 3 seconds. Kind of like this. What's the channel about? If you're able to answer that after such a short amount of time looking at the channel, then that creator knows their niche, knows their target audience. You want your viewers to know instinctively they are in the right place, to say to themselves, this video was literally made for me. When that happens, viewers are far more likely to stick around for longer and watch more of your videos. And from that positive data, YouTube will go out and find more similar viewers who may be interested in your videos. And I've explained all of that without using the word algorithm once, because that's essentially what this is. So how do you pick a niche? We can start with identifying your interests. Again, it might be worth writing down the answers to these questions with your answers. What are you passionate about? What do you want to be known for? And what are you good at? Now, if you can clearly answer those 3 questions without hesitation, then stop this video and start your own video. Known for, and what are you good at? These questions with your answers. What are you passionate about? What do you want to be known for? And what are you good at? Now, if you can clearly answer those 3 questions without hesitation, then stop this video and start your own video with those answers in mind. Having said that, we've already established that YouTube is very, very hard. It can often take a year or more to reach 4,000 hours of watch time and monetize your channel. So ask yourself this question. Do you still want to be talking about the passion you have right now in 3 years' time? Your niche needs to motivate you enough to wake up in the morning, start filming, and still be excited about the process, video after video after video. If you don't do that, then I'm afraid burnout is inevitable. Now, you don't need to be an expert in your niche, but if you're passionate about your niche, that means you're willing to learn and absorb everything. And as long as you're one step ahead of your viewers, you're the expert. When it comes to YouTube, I will always say I am not an expert. I'm just a passionate educator. And through our target audience, we tend to support creators who are starting out on their journeys, looking for these milestones of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. to get monetized. And if creators graduate from our content, there are plenty of other YouTube educators out there who do an excellent job serving their new needs. So once you've answered all of these questions and found your niche, your sweet spot, come up with 3 video ideas to kick things off. And at this point, try not to worry about creating yourself into a tiny YouTube corner that you don't want to be in forever. As your channel grows and you become more confident as a creator and your skill set improves, you can start to evolve your niche, evolve your... Now, we've already alluded to this a little bit, but let's dig in. This might be a vlogger who focuses on camera equipment, Peter McKinnon, or a tech channel that focuses on, let me get this right, true wireless earbuds. That's Jeff. He works here at vidIQ. Or how about, theoretically, a fitness instructor that focuses on females over the age of 60 who have 50 minutes to do a workout. You can get as niche and it'll still be a successful channel. As you consistently post more and more videos for that niche, you will gain relatability and credibility. And when that happens, your audience becomes more engaged, more loyal, comes back. And it doesn't matter if they subscribe to your channel or not. Once you've got 1,000 of them, all you want viewers to do is to return to your content time and time again. That's where the watch time comes from. Of course, out of the YouTube gate, there's likely to be a lot of trial and error, which means that you need to be agile. So yes, here we are talking about pivots. But very subtle ones within your niche. Obviously, content output will vary from channel to channel, but I would say after 3 to 6 months, you've probably got at least 10 videos on your channel, if not more. And naturally, since you're starting out your YouTube journey, you're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. But from those click-through rate, videos that will watch for longer, but it works. Pick the top 2 or 3 videos and make more videos on similar content. Really drill down into the subject. And if you haven't already done so, start doing research on your competition. There is absolutely nothing wrong with watching another content creator's video and saying to yourself, you know what, I can add to that conversation. I disagree with what they're saying, and here's why. At this point, I'm going to cover it. That information is 6 months old, I can update it. I'm going to be straight with you right here, right now. We have watched some of Think Media's videos and thought to ourselves, you know what, we can make our own version of that. And they've probably done exactly the same thing to us. And that's fine. It's good to experiment with many different types of videos because in the long run, you need to get good at coming up with ideas. There's nothing worse than publishing a video that's received really well by your audience and then not knowing what to do next. That's a missed opportunity to build on momentum. Oh, and on that note, if you do need help with ideas, the vidIQ app does have an AI idea generator that's based off of your own channel content. So check it out if you need some inspiration. If you're feeling a little stuck, doesn't equal profit. And that sounds like a Ferengi rule of acquisition from Deep Space Nine.
The 9th rule of acquisition clearly states that opportunity plus instinct equals profit.
You clicked on this video to get 4,000 hours of watch time to monetize your channel, but your niche may not necessarily pay out a lot in CPMs. You can see on screen now some of the most profitable niches with CPMs between $14 and $21. But remember what we said earlier, if you're creating content that you're not passionate about, you're likely to burn out pretty quickly. Unless you're looking to simply create a business out of this and outsource all of the stuff you hate doing, go right ahead. 4,000 hours of watch time is an admirable goal to aim towards, given the rewards at the end of it. In the short term, ad revenue can be the motivation that pushes you onto the next phase of your YouTube journey. But in the long term, ad revenue will probably contribute about this much to your YouTube channel's business, especially when you consider brand deals, sponsorships, affiliate links, selling your own products and services, and so on. But that's a video for another time, unless you've got time right now, because you can watch it right here.
Now at Verizon, get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us, for everyone in the family.
Happy birthday, Marty. Oh, no, you don't. Let me get this.
Ah, thanks. You're too kind.
I've heard that.
Unlimited 2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
Bombarded with tips, strategies, and facts.
Don't post shorts. They're gonna hurt your channel. The trending section on YouTube is only for the elite. Tags are like the only way to get ranked, dude.
Now, many of these people would claim these are truths, but they are in fact myths. And what we're going to try and do today is debunk 13 trending YouTube myths.
Before we do that, though, let us know in the comments, what are some YouTube nonsense myths that you've often heard?
By the way, keep watching until the end, because we may have a couple of extra myths that we're going to debunk. So let's kick this off with myth number 1. Longer videos lead to better YouTube rankings. Dan, discuss.
No, the truth is that a 1-minute video can be just as viral as a 20-minute video. The most important thing creators need to remember here is you get your point across regardless of how long you think your video should be.
What video length doesn't take into account is session watch time. For example, a viewer could watch a video that's only 2 or 3 minutes long, be really satisfied by it, and end up binge watching a lot more content from that single creator. So instead of watching one 12-minute video, they're watching 10 2-minute videos. And now you can appreciate how valuable that can be to the YouTube recommendation engine.
Honestly, the people who are telling you need to make videos of a certain length are probably just thinking about videos that are longer can display more ads.
However, if you are making longer videos for the sake of it, either to get over 8 minutes, to put adverts on your videos, or because you think making longer videos, getting more watch time, leads to more positive metrics, that could actually impact the satisfaction the viewer gets from your content. Take an example such as Beluga. Like, he's ballooned in size, over 10 million subscribers, millions of views every single video. That's likely because viewers are binge watching multiple videos on his channel in one session.
Myth number 2, you absolutely have to have text on your thumbnails.
Well, this is where we get to the conversation, Dan, of it depends what kind of videos you're making. For example, when you talk about vlogs, storytelling, they don't really need text. An engaging visual image can be more than enough.
The mission behind your thumbnail in most cases should be to convey some kind of story or emotion and draw in some kind of curiosity. One thing I like to tell new creators who are struggling is that your thumbnail could really be a visualization of your title. If you can keep people from having to read your title and just get the entire point of the video by looking at a simple thumbnail, you've just won the click.
However, let's think about educational and how-to content that tends to favor text on a thumbnail because it needs to instantly communicate a solution rather than creating mystery or intrigue. So in some cases, text can be really valuable, but Dan, what I think we'll both agree on is that there should be a text limit. Don't try and write sentences on your thumbnails. 2 or 3 words is a good standard. And while we're on the topic of text on thumbnails, Dan, apparently you have to have a beautiful face on your thumbnails as well.
This, again, kind of depends.
Oh, it always depends on YouTube.
Yes, it's our favorite thing to tell people. For example, in the gaming space, a lot of times the games you're playing on your channel have very recognizable features, characters, points of interest. And in a lot of cases, it might be better to lead with those rather than just a picture of you. Save the space on your thumbnail to make the most familiar looking thing the centerpiece of that thumbnail.
It is often about having something that's instantly recognizable to the viewer. So in some cases, if you're doing a news story about a popular sports star, say Shaq, or you're covering a YouTube creator, Graham Stephan, for example, you would want to have their face on the thumbnail. On top of this, if you are building your own brand and you're building a community where they become very familiar with you, then having your own face on the thumbnail might be ideal as well.
On this channel, we actually use our faces quite a bit in thumbnails, and oftentimes it depends on the point we're trying to convey. If we feel like a face is going to bring out a lot of emotion in that thumbnail, you may see it appear. Sometimes we try thumbnails where we have a version of it for one video that has our face and a version that doesn't.
Also, to try and create an associated mindset, you know, if you're fearful of prizes, a new YouTube feature and it looks awesome, we try and convey that perhaps in our thumbnail. But at the same time, we're going to use recognizable elements from YouTube, such as the real-time graph and the metrics panels, because we assume our viewers are going to associate with those YouTube elements.
Earlier in the video, I joked around about how tags are the only way to get ranked on YouTube. This is actually myth number 4.
The truth is, tags exist on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. If you're worried about the myth of YouTube tags, then you're worried about the wrong things. 99% of your optimization efforts and strategy should be guided towards the thumbnail and the title.
YouTube themselves has said multiple times now that the tags are a great place to include common misspellings for maybe...
Many examples on YouTube where larger creators now are just not even bothering with tags because they know their audience, they know they're going to turn up and watch their content. The smaller channels, education channels, they may still be using tags because it provides the creator with some education for themselves in terms of keyword research, and they're just including that keyword research in the video tags. But ultimately, you should be spending no more than 30 seconds inserting tags into your videos. You can do that with the vidIQ Boost tool, either through the recommended tags, or you could search for a video on YouTube and simply copy the tags from that video and place them straight into your video. But what about when it comes to the videos themselves, Dan? Because apparently, bad performing video will completely cripple your channel.
That's something that a lot of people are actually very afraid of, but rest assured, again, YouTube coming to us with this information and saying, no, videos on YouTube are all treated individually. Your next video is going to be affected by that somehow.
Now, when you started your YouTube channel and journey, you were effectively experimenting all of the time to see what works. And ultimately, you should always be experimenting with your content, to become a better creator. But you get to the point where you have an established audience and you want to treat them with respect in terms of the content that you make, but that should always give you the license to experiment every once in a while.
Absolutely, 100%. But a lot of creators make this mistake of experimenting a little too much. So just as a counterpoint, you don't want to be experimenting with random types of videos day in and day out. Every creator should really practice having some level of consistency in their content. Posting once a day consistency. I'm talking about the consistency of the topics that you cover on your channel. They should always appeal to the same audience because at the end of the day, you're here on our channel to get more subscribers. And if you want to build up those returning viewers, you're really gonna have to make videos that they're gonna wanna keep coming back for.
Now, over time, if a pattern develops that the videos that you make are not appearing in a viewer's that the viewer needs to be shown other videos to watch. So that could impact the distribution of your content. So you do need to be aware of that. Now, and as an example of when we made content that we knew wasn't going to perform well, back in February when the conflict in Ukraine began, it was a very personal and important thing that we wanted to talk about on vidIQ. We knew it wasn't YouTube education. We published those videos. As you can see here, they didn't get that many views. But once we returned to our regular programming, so to speak, YouTube education, the audience very quickly came back. So these two videos didn't severely impact the whole performance of the channel.
Myth number 6, you need expensive equipment like cameras and microphones and sweet gaming PCs if you ever want to rank on YouTube.
So there is a certain element of truth to this in the fact that if you have higher quality footage, higher quality audio, that is going to be more of a satisfying viewing experience for the audience, but that shouldn't be seen as a mandate for what you must improve indefinitely on your channel.
So would you say that in certain topics, maybe this is more important than others? For example, if you're a tech channel, I think I would expect somebody reviewing high-end tech products to have some high-end tech themselves, meaning I want to see nice, clean shots, minimalistic design in their offices, and I want some high-quality audio.
Yeah, it's similar with like a photography channel as well. You would expect the thumbnails to be of a very high standard. But let's switch this to a vlogging channel. They're likely filming in a very spontaneous way where they don't have time to think about shot composition, lighting, and perfect audio environments. You know, they're running and gunning. The story is what's important there, and the experience far more than any of the production values. It's a much more raw viewing experience, which the viewer likely appreciates.
One thing I'm always reminding creators of, just while we're on this subject, is that nobody knows that you have amazing production quality if you haven't yet won the click with a fantastic title and thumbnail. And the reason I bring up titles right now is because our next myth is actually that you have to clickbait people in order to get the click.
Clickbait. Hey, what a filthy word that is in the YouTube universe. The truth is, the concept of clickbait is misinterpreted. Your titles don't need to be clickbaity, but they do need to generate an element of curiosity.
I look at clickbait as kind of two different sides, right? You have good clickbait and you have bad clickbait. Now, bad clickbait is when you straight up lie to the viewer. You have a title and a thumbnail that don't deliver on the perceived value of your video. Good clickbait is when maybe you push the envelope just a little bit and you tease something. People still watch the video, but at the end, it was good clickbait because they ended up getting that value from the video by the time they finished. And maybe if you did something that upset them a little bit at the start, you're completely forgiven because, again, you've delivered on that value.
You also have to remember this about YouTube and being a creator. You have an artistic license in everything you do, be it the way you film, edit. That can extend to a certain extent to your title. And when we think about the types of titles, there are 7 different forms of curiosity that we've explored in the past. Challenging assumptions, being oddly specific, more on that later. But for now, Dan, the more subscribers, the better your videos rank on YouTube, right?
Absolutely not. There was a time where YouTube displayed subscribers more prominently across the website, but they've since learned that it's far more valuable to better understand an individual viewer's interests and not necessarily trust whenever they hit the subscribe button. So these days, YouTube is much better at serving you content you want to watch, regardless of whether or not you've subscribed to any one channel.
Now, with a little bit of insider knowledge here, the head of discovery at YouTube, who goes by the name of Todd, has actually said that there are certain algorithms in place to ensure that small channels do get a fair shot when they're competing against well-established channels with millions of subscribers. Another thing to consider is this: the YouTube recommendation system is not necessarily looking at subscribers. What I mean by that is, let's say somebody subscribes to your channel and then doesn't watch anything for 6 months, whereas another viewer watched something from you a few days ago. Who is YouTube likely to suggest that video more to? It's not the subscriber, it's the person who's directly engaged in your content right now. We see this all the time when we're auditing channels to get more views and subscribers. And this is where YouTube has successfully tested it with the core audience on the channel. And now they're testing it with new audiences and they're getting positive signals, and it builds up that snowball effect of more viewers being shown your content.
Speaking of content and subscribers, you actually, I don't know if you knew this, Rob, you have
I won't let my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months, and the majority stayed clearer at 5 years.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Emerge Tremfyant. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
Hey Meta, which of these shots should I take?
You have a few options. Try to hit the yellow ball.
Hey Meta, take a video.
have to have like a ton of videos if you want to actually start getting subscribers in the first place.
Really? Is that true?
That's a thing.
I question that. You could make 100 terrible videos, and then on video 101, you're still going to get no views and no subscribers. And let's be honest about this, Dan. We've seen this repeated so many times with Let's Play gaming channels who fall into that trap. On the other hand, we've seen examples of channels that have made 1 or 2 videos and already they're getting thousands of subscribers and millions of views.
In fact, quite recently, during one of our live streams, we audited a channel that on their very first video eventually hit 500,000 views and counting. Now, we can see this using our own vidIQ historical data tools. It does take them a little bit of time to kind of get up and running, but eventually YouTube finds an audience, again, for their first video, and it's still getting views even today.
Speaking of first videos or videos hurting the channel, what about YouTube Shorts? They're bound to hurt my channel, right, Dan?
You do not want to be making YouTube Shorts unless you want to miss out on a great opportunity to get a lot of views and not harm your channel. I don't know where this is coming from. YouTube Shorts, I like to think, kind of live in their own little bubble on your channel.
And that's actually been confirmed a little bit by YouTube. In a recent talk, they explained that when somebody watches a lot of YouTube Shorts from a content creator, YouTube doesn't necessarily automatically recommend the long-form content from that challenge that YouTube were trying to deal with, the relationship between different viewing experiences. Eventually, YouTube are going to bridge that connection, but for now, this is why you could get millions of views on Shorts and then hardly any views on long-form content because the recommendation system just isn't up to speed yet.
Ultimately, if this is something you're concerned about, you can do one of two things. Or you can make sure that your YouTube Shorts and your long-form videos always appeal to the same exact type of viewer. Or, of course, you can make a whole separate channel and just put your Shorts on that one. And once you do that, in either case, you're going to get probably a lot of views. And everybody knows, Rob, that you have to get a lot of views if you want to make literally any money at all on YouTube. It's the only way to make money.
The smart business-minded creator will tell you that's completely false. While you can make money from views on your videos through adverts, it is a small trickle of passive income. Very easy to set up, but you're really missing out on many, many more business-making opportunities on your content and channel.
There's a lot of ways. I mean, you could be getting brand deals. You could be doing some affiliate marketing. You can have sponsorships. You can even start your own YouTube membership program.
So it sounds like, Dan, there's plenty of ways to make money on YouTube, but this is all tied into a subscriber count, yeah?
No. The number of subscribers you have on YouTube, well, I mean, past getting 1,000 subscribers and reaching the monetization goals, has no effect on the money you're going to bring on your channel.
Indeed. It's more to do with the views when we talk about ad revenue. But on top of that, you have to start to learn CPM, the topic you're making videos about, where those videos are being watched, and the time.
Worry about having the biggest numbers across your channel. You need a lot of subscribers, you need a lot of views, you need a lot of everything if you actually want to be a successful influencer on YouTube. Isn't that right?
Nope, not true. There are tons of opportunities regardless of your subscriber size.
You're right. Fine, I concede. Listen, smaller channels can make money on YouTube even before they get monetized, as we kind of discussed a little bit earlier.
Recently, we spoke to a creator who had just monetized, but then they landed their first brand deal that earned way more than all of the ad revenue they'd earned in about 6 months. And that's because they pitched themselves to the right brand, knowing the problems that they could solve for their audience.
Okay, because we like you, and you did stick around to the end, we're actually going to give you a few bonus myths.
I was ready to clock off, but all right, Dan. Let's look at this myth. You never appear in YouTube trending because it's a place reserved for high-profile elite creators.
So this is something that creators are actually really annoyed by. They go into the trending sections and they see late-night talk show clips and high-profile music artists taking over these spaces. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you can actually find sections that YouTube has laid out on their own that feature creator on the rise and artist on the rise. So there are spaces for smaller channels to make their way into the trending sections on YouTube. And related to those trending sections on YouTube, another myth we see a lot is that you have to actually publish your video at a certain time. That's the reason you're not getting into those trending sections.
Come on, Dan. YouTube's not that antiquated. It's not looking at the video content once every 24 hours.
It says it on the script.
No, the script is wrong. The truth is the trending list is revised every 15 minutes. So that means that you can publish your video at any point in a day, and if it's been picked up by a large audience, it could start to trend. So the key thing here is to publish your content when your viewers are online, not at midnight when you think YouTube trending is just going to start checking the videos to see what's going on.
Okay, now earlier you had said we were going to talk about something else. Is that another myth or something? Because you just completely blew everybody off.
It's not another myth. We were talking about titles, and I teased these 7 stages of title curiosity. And so if you want to learn more about writing fantastic titles and a tool that's going to help you automatically generate them, then I suggest, Dan, let's do this together. Point here and watch this video.
Auto Quote Explorer from Progressive shows you rates from other companies, even if they're lower than ours.
Because honesty is the best policy. I ate the apple pie you left cooling on the windowsill.